You're listening to the Cars of Carlisle podcast, episode 60, the Chevrolet Nationals wrap-up show.
Cars of Carlisle is your favorite internationally downloaded podcast about all things automotive. Darren and his CFC team are ever searching for interesting automotive happenings, real stories about real car people, and fun features to inform and entertain you. Each week, the Cars of Carlisle crew brings you show topics ranging from car shows to team adventures to auto racing weekends to behind-the-scenes human interest stories from car nuts that live across town, across the country, or even across the globe. Come join the road trip.
Today, join Darren and Scott from last weekend's 2019 Carlisle Chevrolet Nationals. Darren spent some time interviewing Miss Hurst Golden Shifter, Vaughn. The First Lady of Motorsports shares a lifetime of car memories from all over the world. Listen in to hear from former Hurst engineer Don Glover as he recounts days designing the shifter and products we all know and love. Meet three siblings from northern New Jersey who are serious Bowtie fans with Trans Ams, a Corvette, and a mean SS Camaro in their garages. And hear from a charming Chambersburg couple who are the proud original owners of an impeccable 1969 Hurst Olds with a 455 cubic inch power plant. This car is extraordinary. Get your CB radio ready to hear more about the Cars of Carlisle team's first-hand thoughts on the first ever Bandit Jump. So, let's get revved up!
Hello and welcome back, Cubers, to your favorite informative automotive podcast. I am your trusted host, Darren, and to my right in the studio today is Scott. Thank you for going along on Saturday.
Hey, thanks for taking me along.
That was your first Chevy Nationals, if I'm not mistaken, was it not?
It was, and I enjoyed it. It was great.
There were a couple things that really stood out for you, bud, as far as things that you were surprised at. You've, of course, had the comparison to Ford. Each show has its own personality. Any reflections for you?
Yeah, the main thing that I noticed was Ford is just basically Ford, but at this one...
With Lincoln and some Mercury.
Right, yeah. But this one was kind of a large umbrella, and there was a little bit of everything and a little bit of everybody that was there.
Right, so you make a great point that being General Motors, you have, of course, Chevy, you have Cadillac, Pontiac, Buick. It really does cover some different
It was really diverse with what you saw there, and the people that were there.
Yeah, for sure. We're excited about this show for you. A lot to talk about. You know from the intro that we talked and met with Vaughn, got a couple hugs, got some autographs. She's so great. Just talking with her, very smart lady. Been in business for a lot of years. She's born and raised Georgia, but a West Coast lady now.
And so relatable. She was so down to earth, casual conversation, just immediately comfortable.
Yep, she was great. And at that station, we met Brenda Walls. We'll talk a little bit more with you about that, or you'll hear in the interview. We're planning to go to Ridgely Car Show at the end of September 22nd, down in Maryland. There are going to be probably 1,500 plus cars there. We'll plan to take the Z06 down, but really great to meet folks like that. Also, by accident, you're going to hear us meet three new friends. We were standing along the Bandit Jump at the media area that was blocked off, and they had VIP tickets, and we're leaning over the fence talking to these three individuals, and here was two sisters and a brother.
And it's as though we knew them our entire lives.
Oh, my word.
Just chit-chat. In
Laughing,
fact, I think
making jokes.
In some of the interview, you'll probably hear different of us talking in the background because it was just kind of constant with everything that was going on. It was great.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. A lot of energy. This episode, it may go a little longer much longer than most wrap-up shows. Some great content. Speaking of excellent content, we may have to do a second parter, but Don Glover, a former engineer for Hurst, extremely giving of his time, walked me around, showed me these glassed areas where he has original drafts and blueprints of the pistol grip shift for Chrysler. He had other engineering drawings that he had done, and he talked a lot about his drag racing days. He showed me personal photo albums where all the cars and the history of the vehicles he had worked on. The ETs he was turning at local drag strips. I mean, it was really a great experience. So to hear that interview. And in addition to that, we had the pleasure of meeting a great couple out of the southern Pennsylvania, Chambersburg, Pennsylvania area. And they are the original owners of a 1969 Hurst Olds. This car was concourse level vehicle. The restoration on it, they do trailer it. It is immaculate, perfectly restored, full rotisserie restoration on it. But they were the original owners. They bought it new, and they have an incredible provenance. They showed me their personal photo albums, the handwritten bill of sale. It was just the most fantastic discussion with them, and you're going to get to meet them, John and Sharon Kushner.
And what you won't hear is pretty much anything after the demonstration of the Nitro startup.
Oh, yes, exactly.
With Bruce Larson.
Scott and I were dividing and conquering it a bit mid-afternoon, and he was over at Bruce Larson's tent, but you were smart enough to keep, 50 yards back?
I was just late getting there, so that's why I was so far back. But everybody was crowded in like little flies, and then as soon as it started up, everybody grabbed their ears and ran away. But it was loud.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
Well, this is a longer than normal one, but I'm promising you're going to enjoy it. We met some amazing people. So glad to have these individuals now be Cars of Carlisle fans and fellow Cubers.
And friends.
In fact, we're already talking about with the Randolph siblings, meeting up with them at Corvettes of Carlisle, and we're going to get together and maybe grab dinner and have some fun. So, yeah, so good to make new friends. Oh, before we jump into and hit the ignition, the start button, let's give you today's episode 60 trivia question, and that is this. You know, I'm a major fan of Linda Vaughn, and with that, she was in two relatively, if you're a car person, you know these movies, but she was in two films, and I'll give you the years. The first one was actually 1976, and the second film she was in was 1983. And the latter of the two featured Burt Reynolds. So, looking for the two movies that Miss Vaughn was a featured actress on.
And if you happen to hear any bloopers that are covered from the Alexis sister,
she was the shy one
from Andrea's Camaro.
Yes, and she kept saying she was the shy one. Yes.
Yeah, but we have a lot of bloopers to cover from the shy one.
We were going to nickname her the F-Bomber. So you'll hear those bleep outs just so we keep this clean. So Scott, good point. Let's fire up the engine. Let's get started. So first up, we'll talk to those Randolph siblings. And Andrea.
Nice to meet you, Darren.
Andrea, so glad we met over at the Bandit Jump, you and your sister, and we'll talk to her in a little bit. But you were just getting ready to tell me about this beautiful divorce car.
Yeah, my 2011 Camaro. It was...
Open the cutouts.
I like where he's going with this.
December of 2011, I decided that that's what I really needed to have. I loved it when I saw it, when they debuted this car. And my dad had a 69 Camaro that was yellow and black. And I needed to have one. But I couldn't afford it when they came out, like 2010. So I looked on cars.com. Doesn't even have
get a little closer to it
so
we can hear it burble.
Yeah, they're open.
Yeah, they're open.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Had it all done?
So
last year?
I bought it off of cars.com. It was New Year's Eve.
Yes.
After work, my brother's a jeweler also, and they have a store in New Jersey. And I watched it for the whole month of December, and it went from like 42,000 to 39,000 in a month. So I called the guy up. It was down the shore. I said, I'm going to come buy this car. They were like, it had 4,500 miles on it. The guy won it in AC.
Yeah, he won
Drove
it
it, won it in a casino, drove it a few 4,500 miles, and traded it in for a truck. So I went down, bought the car, drove it home in the rain, and it's been my baby ever since. And then I put an X-Pipe, SLP X-Pipe, SLP Loudmouth 2 on it right away, cold air intake. Then I did headers and cutouts last year, drove it to Maryland for it. I have 3 sets of rims for this car.
Do you really?
Yeah. I have my originals. I have another pair, and this is my favorite by all time. Yeah, well, my 2016 Corvette it's all blacked out. It's white with red interior. Her name's Norma Jean. This one doesn't have a name. This was my Diamond SS. My Corvette's Diamond C7, and I have a 2016 Tahoe that says VVS1D. Because no one will know what that means. It's a jewelry term because I don't want anybody to like kill me.
And is it clarity? Is that
It's clarity and
Clarity, color.
BVS1, almost perfect, and color D is. So,
See that?
yeah,
Which, it's nearly perfect.
it is. So these two sit in my garage side by side, and then I have a 2019 side by side in between them.
Oh my
Yellow.
gosh.
Bigger garage.
Yeah, I need a bigger
You've
garage.
got great choice.
Yeah.
But how often do you change? Do you change the rims yourself? I mean, you just keep they're all shot
Well, my
the tires.
boyfriend actually
GM
is a
mechanic.
GM mechanic.
Oh, well, there you go.
He is not a car guy.
Okay.
He won't come to a show with me, but
Right.
he does everything for me.
Okay, so you just, depending what
Whatever
mood
I
you're
want.
in, you just...
But these have been on because they fit my car. The other ones, my regular stock, I love. But I had a pair of 21s on there. The black didn't go. And these, I found them, and I love it. So my garage literally looks like the Hot Wheels that you buy in the package
Yeah.
with the sets of rims,
Yes.
the jack. That's there. And then my other rims.
They make the look.
Yeah.
Tell me, does it look nasty? Then when
Very
when I
nasty.
turn that on with the cutouts open, it's
On
nasty.
the highway, you can't even.
Then like I got
Does
pulled
it
over one
drone
time.
pretty heavy?
Very bad. Today
Does
my
it?
daughter was like, "Mom," but
Oh.
I'm used to it. She's
Yeah.
not.
Those off.
I just, even when I closed it, the drone is, but I don't care.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
open the windows, open the sunroof, and I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
I got pulled over one time, and
Because of the...
because of all this, yeah, I think I'm like who I
Blacked out
am.
windows.
So I
Okay.
roll down the windows. He's like, "Oh," I'm like,
You're a
"Oh,
girl."
girl."
And you were let go?
I was like, "Yeah, all girl."
No
Can I help you with
no front plate,
because
and
I'm
your-
not letting them
and your
drill, and my tin, and
So you just lay it up on the dash?
No.
no,
No, okay.
it's all in my garage.
Okay.
So I said to the cop, I said, I know exactly where to park her because the plate's right there.
Okay.
He was really cool. He's like, all right, just go. I did all the blackout, like I did the color cutout, like they're blackouts they call, but they're like all LED, the side
So you can
markers.
see through that then?
You can, but when you see this, you don't see it.
I haven't seen that done before.
Yeah, and my Corvette, I did not like how, it was like this.
Yes.
So I had them black tinted done.
Wow, somewhere
Yeah.
local did it for you?
Yeah, my tint place did it, but a guy came to me, the whole nine. This is what I want. He goes, I have it on a lot.
How do the Recaros feel
Love
on a
it.
long trip?
I'm okay with it,
Okay.
but my boyfriend's 6'4", and he hates it.
Okay. Yeah, well,
But I said it's not for him to hate. It's
That's
not
right.
for him to love.
it's yours.
But for a bigger guy, the Recaro is like my friend just traded his 2011 Camaro in, all done up. Jerry from Central Jersey, he's over there by the UMI Performance Trailer, did all his work, over $20,000 in work. Just traded in for $20,000. Bought himself a 1LT Corvette, 2015 for $40,000. So he got 20 for his car. So he's like,
All right.
I bought this car for 20 grand.
Yeah, that's a good way to look
But
at
all
it.
my guys are trading in all their Camaros for that. Now I have coffee with
Why-
my Corvette club in the morning, on Monday mornings, and we all talk about the C8.
Really, as we talked about over at the Bandit Jump, the older generation is really against it.
Yeah. They're, mid-size. It's weird. Mid-engine, automatic.
It's more Ferrari.
More Ferrari.
Yeah.
And the younger Corvette guys, I think, love it. But really, the younger Corvette guys are... They don't... It's all about... Like, for us, like, when I remember when I saw this for the first time,
Yeah.
I loved it. And then when they debuted that C7, I was like, no matter what I'm going to do, I'm buying this car. My taillights won me over. But they said... We can go on the machine if you want.
Okay,
The
yeah.
old Corvette guys hated the taillights.
Without the round, the 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always wanted a C6, but when that C7 came out, I was all about it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's me.
It
So.
has great lines.
Yeah.
I just keep staring at this car. It's
Yeah.
just absolutely amazing.
Pretty sassy.
That's a good word for
It is.
it.
And I park it at work, and everybody knows, like, oh, wow, that's Andrew's car. And, yeah, that's definitely my car.
Gosh.
And I have one quick story that's a great story.
Please.
So I met a police officer in my town who'll be here soon. I was sleeping one Sunday morning. My neighbors are banging on my door, and I'm like, what? So I wake up, and they said there was a broken down truck in the street. And I was like, okay. They're like, the guy's wheel hit your garage.
Fell off and smacked the garage.
I was like, what? So I get out, I look out, yeah, his whole wheel broke off,
Go through the garage door.
flew into my garage.
What a chance of that?
Right. So they already called the police. I'm like, okay, that's good. It didn't damage my garage door, but it broke my siding. And so the cop comes to my house, and he's like, well, what are you bitching for? Really, it didn't do any damage. I was like, really? So I open up the door, and he's like, oh. Then I open up the other door. He was like, oh.
Yeah, that could have been
I was like,
bad.
yeah. So he's like, well, my brother's a Corvette guy. I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. It's 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. I don't really care. So he leaves. They get the guy. The guy comes, fixes my whole siding because he's a contractor. He just didn't realize his wheel. Yeah, right. You kind of know when something happens.
Yeah.
So,
you lose a wheel, you kind of know.
yeah. And when you leave your truck and it's like, it ripped into the road, into the pavement.
Yeah.
So, he's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, bud, just write the report, whatever. Mm-hmm. So about a week later, I'm leaving for work, pulling the Corvette out of the driveway. The state trooper pulls in front of me, and I'm like, it was the brother. So he's like, oh, yeah, so my brother told me, and this is exactly the kind of car, and we've been friends ever since.
That's awesome.
So, and he's a Corvette guy, too, so he'll come down at Corvettes at Carlisle with me. It's just funny things, how they work.
They do.
And that's what you talk about on the podcast. It's a community.
It is.
It is.
I meet so many people.
I have been
become
crazy
best
for
friends
cars
with,
since
like,
I formed words. My second word my mom said was Jeep.
But
Like I said, my
it's
sister,
the family of
her
people,
band
the
is
community
Corvette.
of friends. I'm loving it.
I have to say that. Like, I always said, like, the first day, like, I bought that Camaro. The car was nothing. I literally made a huge family from the car itself.
Yeah, that's exactly
So-
right. And what you talk about, like Corvettes of Carlisle, the fact this is my first year I can come now and be part of it.
There's nothing
as an
like
owner.
it.
No, it's,
I mean,
it's a
that's
4-speed manual and it's a dog.
Nothing like it.
So cool.
And there's so many people, and they're like, when I get out of my car, they're like, oh, is that your husband's car? I'm like, no, that's my car, and I don't have one of those. Like, it's seriously straight up.
I
So-
got rid of that one, and
Right. You know what?
Got rid of the
It's a
husband
whole
and bought the
different
cars.
respect, though, when you drive that Corvette. You get out, and they're like, oh, nice to meet you.
Well, do you guys want to give a shout out to the businesses, to your clubs? I mean, please do.
Well, we're New Jersey 5th Gen, New Jersey 5th Gen Camaro Club. We have really great, we're all in New Jersey, but North Jersey. We have members as far as Maryland, lots of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. We have a lot. And I'm DeAndre's Jewelers. I'm in North Jersey. And I meet a lot of people. When I have my Corvette or Camaro parked in my parking lot, they stop. And they come in, and then my whole office, I'll have to send you a picture.
Please do.
My one wall is all Matchbox Camaros that my customers bring me, and the other wall is now Corvettes.
Oh my god.
And they love it. They think this is great. I was at Walmart. I picked this up for you. I was here. I saw that. I thought of you. It's really nice, and
That's
it's really
amazing.
a personal touch. So
It is a very personal touch.
Yeah.
John, did you want to say anything about, just about the whole car life among...
The sisters.
It's a big family. The car life is a big family. So we've met so many people because of it.
yeah.
One of our best friends, they become family. So
Yeah, he just showed up at my store one Sunday morning for a coffee run, and we've been friends with him ever since.
It's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can usually tell the first moment you meet somebody when
It
they
is.
come out of the car, you're like,
it's awesome. It really is. Every time Alexis
Yeah.
gets divorced or breaks up with a boyfriend, she buys a car. So that's why she needs
Except
to
for
get
this last time.
This last one, she needs to buy another one now.
Wow.
She got divorced, bought the 01, broke up with her longtime boyfriend, bought the Bandit.
oh.
See?
So
That's good.
This last time
Hey,
I
it's
didn't
good
buy
therapy.
I didn't buy
Therapy.
anything.
Thank
I
you
didn't
for
buy
the
anything
pin.
this last
So tell us about
geez.
both your Trans Ams, if you would.
So, the 01, I just love the style car. And so my brother and I was going through a really bad divorce, and my brother and I, he was young at the time. We used to remember AOL Instant Messenger. Mm-hmm. So it was like the three of us. We'd sit home and be like,
talk to each other in our
and
houses.
so
Yeah.
I don't know. We searched he searched online. He actually found it for me, and it was on eBay. And
It's in Philly.
it was
outside
Valley
of
Forge,
Philly.
PA. I'll
Yep.
never forget it. And it was my white car is exactly the same as the day I bought it. Had like a black checkered flag on the side of it, and so my sister and I sound alike on the phone. And I am very shy. Mm-hmm. So I told my sister, I called her up. I was like, listen, I really like this car. I was like, she's like, no problem, I'll take care of it. What's the phone number? She called up. She's like, yep, I'm this, I'm whatever. Okay, great. Tomorrow, I'll be out tomorrow to pick it up.
Yeah.
My dad drove me out.
Well, she calls me. She's
And-
like, "Can you get off of work to come drive my car home? Because I haven't driven a stick in 20 years."
I literally hadn't driven
Like,
a
I
stick
can't
in
get
a
off
long
work.
time.
before we owned our stores.
This is
16 years ago.
Like it was 2003. I'll never forget
2
it.
years old
So
when we bought it.
we go out there. We go to this place. It was Phoenix. I forget the name of the place. But
Phoenix
anyway, we
Auto
pull
Group,
up.
yeah.
There's a big warehouse, and I pulled up and I was like, there was all Trans Ams out front and Corvettes. They built Corvettes for like a road course.
Okay.
So my dad drove me, and we pull up, and I was like, where's my car? I was so excited. We go inside. I had to use the bathroom because we drove 3 hours. And we go inside. And I was like, I remember where it was. Once I went to the bathroom and I came out, they had it outside. And I was like, I was just like, it was the most amazing moment of my life because I was like, I had...
Still sweat when you drive it, right?
So I wasn't ready to buy a car at the time. It was like 2002. We went up to this place in Newburgh, and they were like the biggest
Trans Ams dealer.
Pontiac dealership at the time. We went up there. The only thing they had was the 2002, the anniversary, that yellow.
Okay.
So I was like, and they had it in the showroom, and I remember it was a lot of money, and I was like, no, I'm not a fan of the convertible. So I was like,
the lines are completely different.
But when I was ready to buy, they didn't have anything. But before I went there, they had 1,000 cars. So anyway, that's why we ended up on eBay. Well, so my brother found it. Sure enough, they didn't sell it. So I went up there and got it. My dad and I took it home. I said, Dad, can you drive it to get gas? He said, no. I'm not getting it. And my dad's a big man. I was like, Dad, I'm scared. I'm like, I don't even know if I can drive this home. My brother was 18 at the time, and I just started dating a new guy.
Okay.
And it was actually his birthday. And I said to him, I was like, oh, listen, we're gonna go. I know it's your birthday and everything, but
guess what I'm doing?
Well, I said I'm buying this Trans Am. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, I'm gonna buy this. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Whatever, dude. Restaurant.
Pull up to the restaurant, and everybody came out like, he's like, oh, I thought you were kidding. I was like, I told you I was buying this car.
Right.
Like it was just. And I've had it. I mean, that's like my kid.
You gotta tell them about the story when you got the black car, driving it home. What you did.
So I go to. My brother was getting married. It was 2009, and it was the day of his soon-to-be wife's wedding shower. So we go. It was English Town swap meet.
Yeah, we know it.
We go down. My dad used to be active. He's not active anymore. But my sister and I go down on Saturday. And we're like, oh yeah, we never miss it. It's spring swap meet. Perfect. We go down, and I was just like, oh, that Bandit Trans Ams is something. So anyway, we come up. We're on the actual track. They had cars for sale. And I see one. I'm like, Dad. He was there with one of his friends selling something. I was like, Dad, you have to come over here. You have to check this car out. I'm like, I really think I want to buy this.
Hyperventilating.
Yeah. Comes over. Whatever. Goes over the whole thing. And so we get the story from the guy. The guy was a heating and air conditioning person. Did repair for somebody. He literally lived in English Town. It was like right around the corner. And he didn't know much about the car. He was like, I did work for this person, and my bill was $14,000. All I wanted to do was get paid for what I did. He goes, he didn't have the money. He gave me the car. He goes, only thing I know is that it's in 1981. It's got 30,000 original miles. The car was in the garage for like 28 years. Like literally, like the guy was working. I mean, it needs.
It's like a garage barn find.
It's literally it's brand new. I mean, it's old, but it's new.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I called my dad. I was like, Sure enough, I gave him $100. I was like, listen, I want this car.
She wasn't thinking she was going to buy a car that day.
No. So I had to figure out, who has cash like that later? I'm like, I did, but I was like, I need to get this. So next day was John's wife's ex-wife's wedding shower. We leave at my sister picked me up. We're like, we have to go out and get this car. My dad met us. I had to get the money together. Sure enough,
the plates off the white Trans Am.
Well,
to drive the black one home. That's what I was getting at.
Oh,
because there's a funny one after that.
Took the plates off my white car. Took them down. Didn't get insurance because I didn't know if I was how it was going to work.
Right.
Everything's great. Give the money. Thanks very much. Put gas in it. Here we go. Put the plates on it. I'm driving home, white knuckling it because my sister's behind me because I'm scared to death. I'm like, I have no insurance. It's not registered.
Right,
Just take it home.
She's like, oh, the fumes are killing me. I'm like, oh yeah, it's carbureted, so that's how that works.
Yeah.
So it took us, probably a good 2.5 hours to get home, just in time to get to his wife's wedding shower. Parked it on my sister's lawn, took pictures. I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever.
Right.
Fast forward a couple,
months later,
whatever it was. Take my car to get inspected.
Takes the white one.
Take my white car out. It's 2 seconds away. I take it to the guy's place. He inspects it. He goes, what about your license plates? I was like, no. Oh, did I? I was like, no, I don't. Oh no, I took the black car first. Had license plates on it. Took the white car second. I was like, no, I don't. I don't have any, vanity plates or whatever. I was like, I don't really know what to say.
He goes, no.
He goes, no, there are no plates on it. I was like, Oh my gosh! I literally forgot to switch it. I was like, "Are you?" And meanwhile, he's probably like, "Look at this." You know.
Yeah. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Thanks so much. Just please inspect my car." And I'm driving home doing like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please. It's fine.
Mortified.
Wow.
So fast forward, I got Lady Bandit. That's my license plate on my black car. My white car does not have vanity plates, but yep, that's my kids. That's what I got.
Good for you.
Yeah, we didn't bring it out because it was raining.
I wanted to. I was so scared. I mean, one time my dad, I needed I think I needed something wrong with the air conditioning, and something was wrong with it. My dad lived in Staten Island at the time.
Heater cord.
We're about like an hour and a half from the city. So my dad's like, everybody was like, oh, they're giving me a hard time. It was a lot of money. So my dad's like, I have a guy, he'll fix it. So I took it to my dad's guy. Went, picked it up, and it was like a Saturday, but they were calling for rain. It was gorgeous the day I went out. I left the city, and I'm on 80, and it was like, literally the skies opened up. So I'm like, nope. I mean, it had all new rubber, the windows, everything, except that it's an old car. I mean, it literally it leaked like a sieve, and then my windshield wipers on fast was like slower than my regular car goes on slow. I was like,
and that's it. She's like, we're not driving this out to Carlisle.
No. When I tell you, I'm on 80, so I'm driving, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
There was tractor trailers. Like, I was like, this is it. Like, either I'm gonna get hurt or my car's gonna get wrecked. I was like, whatever. I had to pull over. Like, I could not see. I was like, so that's it. I was told my brother, I was like, nope. I was like, it gave me anxiety to think about driving it out here.
I can understand.
I mean, I think it was be okay, but with the rain, no. Nope. But I wanted to.
That's
next year. As long as it doesn't rain.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
All of your interest and enthusiasm and everything, that came from your dad.
My dad, yep.
Great.
My dad.
Really cool.
Yep. And I wish my dad would be. He's a big man, and he hurt his knee, and he's just not like what he used to be. Because we have a dirt track where we grew up, and that's Orange County Speedway.
Yeah.
And
late models and such, or is it
more stock, or not late models?
Stock modified, stocks,
Okay.
But love it. I mean, that's what that's how we grew up. And my grandparents, his parents.
I probably haven't gone to the races.
And it makes me sad that he doesn't want to do anything
used to
anymore.
race.
It's just like,
well, at least you guys are keeping it alive.
Oh, absolutely.
In your generation.
Yep.
Definitely.
Can you tell the Cars of Carlisle fans a little bit about your friend that you're going to put us in touch with that will be coming to northern New Jersey?
Oh my gosh, Keith. Oh yeah.
Keith, he's a friend of ours. His name is Keith, and my oldest sister went to kindergarten with his wife, and we reconnected about 8 or 10 years ago, and we started hanging out. And he has the General Lee. She said, "Come over to my house. I got to show you some stuff." So she had the Bandit, brought the Bandit over. We go hang out.
They had a party. They had a Duke
Fest.
Stock,
or Duke Fest.
Duke Stock, whatever it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he built the boar's nest in his backyard in a pole barn. It is the exact replica of the bar.
That is incredible.
And he has the General Lee. He has the Cooter's tow truck. He has Daisy's Jeep. Daisy's, what is
Roscoe's
that, Duster?
Car.
Daisy's Duster. It was a
Uncle
Duster.
Jesse's?
Uncle Jesse's.
Yep,
that was Uncle Jesse's. Yep.
Roscoe's car.
Roscoe Pico Trains police car. He has the Chico County Sheriff's police car. Yeah, and his wife has Kit from Knight Rider. But amazing people. They are diehard Dukes of Hazzard fans, and they're amazing. Like, they live it. The car is built.
Such nice people, though.
The car is built, and when they leave a car show, his friends drive the cop cars. Yeah. And when they leave, he spins tires, pulls out, and they chase him in the cop car with the lights and sirens on. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they do. But they are amazing people, and definitely we're going to get in touch with them and let you guys all meet them, and it'll be great. Yeah.
They're great people. Really, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They had Duke Stock. I brought my car, parked next to his car. It was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Kit is almost done, so that'll be done soon. Yep.
Little project. But great time. Great people.
Guys, thank you for almost bringing this in like family under your tent.
Absolutely.
Fifth gen.
So fun.
Yeah, New Jersey 5th Gen. Absolutely awesome Camaro club. So.
And do they want to give a shout out for the business?
Oh, I did.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Andrea did.
We have DeAndrea's Jewelers in Wantage, New Jersey, and J. Alexander Jewelers in West Milford, New Jersey. We're a family-owned business. We do custom design, and we build everything we make. So.
Perfect.
I hope you guys are diamonds in the rough.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our North New Jersey car fans are really cool people, and we can't.
And a big shout out to Alexis, Andrea, and John.
Yes, so can't wait to hang with those three in August when they come back to Carlisle. We're going to go to Don Glover now, and a lot of people were talking with Don at the one end of the Hurst tent. He gave up a good portion of his afternoon at the very end of the day, so let's go to Don's interview now.
Cubers, this is Darren, and I am here again at the Hurst tent, and I'm talking to Hurst engineer Don Glover. Don, great to meet you, and I know that you're a friend of Carlisle events. You've been here before.
That's correct. I've been here at least on 4 events.
Mm-hmm.
Great place to be, great people, nice crowd. The whole staff of the Miller family have been super.
Yeah, they really are.
All right. I originally met George Hurst in 1959.
Okay.
My car club in 1959 were looking for a source for motor mounts to put a Hemi in a 52 Ford. And we says, hey, there's this guy over at Abington named George Hurst that makes motor mounts. Let's go over and see him. So off we went in a 58 Impala over to see this small 2.5 car garage, and he was put a late model engine at that time into a Mark I Lincoln Continental. So we got information about putting our Hemi in a 52 Ford, gathered that information and left. Years after that, not too many years, I then said, I'm going to follow that company. So because I'm a car person, what I did was I kept looking at Hurst Performance, which was Hurst Campbell at the time, grow and grow. They went from motor mounts to shifters and then got into the racing circuit and just grew and grew. And I said, I want to work for that company. So I kept watching their ads and how the company grew. And then I placed a application to work in their engineering department back in 64, 65, and in 67 I was hired to be in their engineering department, and that was just like a dream come true. Yeah, it's like pursuing what you want to do in life. Then I says, well, this is great. I'm a car person. Everybody works there are car people. And here this company is like growing and growing. And it's a symbolic company throughout the racing, all kinds of the automotive world. Yeah. So what I did then, after working there, I was assigned the first project to build a knockdown demo stand. And then we said, we got this personalized oils project. And I says, well, okay. So I was one of 3 engineers plus our other staff to build this 68 Hurst Olds. It was called personalized oils. So what happens, how the project started in December of 67, a 1968 Cutlass Post Coupe was delivered to our facility, and we in turn, real quick, that says, okay, we pulled the motor out. A 455 blueprinted motor was shipped in from Detroit. We dropped that in. We put a dual gate in there, which I personally installed. I put the cold air package with the scoops under the bumper, the Oldsmobile division in Lansing, and so then off to another project. So later on, we says, what happened to this car thing we did? And he says, oh, well, they liked it, and we're going to start building them out in Michigan. With the Hurst Olds project, it was then dubbed Hurst Olds. At that particular point, they started marketing the car. We had 2,500 orders for the car. We were doing them off campus of General Motors at Denver Engineering. So then at that point, we were painting them. We had a crew that worked overnight on time. So we built 515 cars. Wow. And that's all we could do with the time constraint allotted for us for General Motors. Mm-hmm. So we shipped and built 515 cars for the 1968 model year. Going forward on my aspect of things, the next project was the Jaws of Life, the rescue tool. So since I had a background of designing forged parts and working in the aircraft industry, I then designed the forged titanium arms for the Jaws of Life. Another project, just right on to something else. So we hired more people to get that project going because it was George Hurst's personal project, because he wanted that done, because it saved a lot of people's lives. And having something like this would just be great. So I went from that into other things like I designed a hydraulic tank for it, the mounting plate for the engine, for the pump, for the hydraulic tool. And then another project come up with the Chrysler Corporation wanted a pistol grip shifter. They designed it, we had to manufacture it. The unique aspect of this was that the shifter stick, all of the Hurst shifter sticks were 3/8 thick. Chrysler designed the pistol grip aspect of it. It was 5/16. So what we had to do was get a die cut part, weld it to that, grind it down smooth, and make it like one continuous piece. We did that for 70 to 73, maybe 73 and a half model year. So that was another project that I was involved in, and we just kept going. Then after I did the Hurst Olds emblem for the Hurst Olds project, they says, we want to do a Hurst equipped emblem. They put on anybody's car with the product that we had in their car. So they says, well, since you did a good job on the Hurst Olds emblem, why don't you design the Hurst equipped emblem?
Sure.
So in '69, I grew that up, and we made that out of zinc die cast with adhesive back, so anybody with any kind of car with our product in it could then affix it to their trunk lid or door or box, whatever they wanted. So going forward, then as in '68, '69, the need for stick shift cars kind of slowed down and more automatics were coming out. So then what we did was designed a auto stick to look like a stick shift, but it was automatic for the turbo hydros and the power glide cars. So I did the first concept drawing for that. So going forward, then...
Did you do your own drafting and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Right here, if you want to take pictures,
yes, I will.
I have the original drawings.
That's excellent, yes.
So later on, I got involved in the fit up, designing a kit. So when a new car come out and it was a stick shift, we had to be right on top of it to get drawings from General Motors, Ford, or Chrysler to know where the seat location and the floor of the transmission was in the car. Then we had to interpret that data into a layout by hand. This computer,
the ergonomics of it all, and right.
Yeah. So then we'd lay that out. We would make parts in our shop. We would get a car in. I would put a lab coat on. We'd put the car up on the lift, and the parts that I designed, we'd put them on the car and then test run it. In one day, the customer or a person would then get his or hers original parts into a box in the trunk, and for us to use their car for a day, we used it as a fit up. Then I would mark up drawings, and at that point, the drawings would then be like updated so we can manufacture parts. So the whole essence of that was that when somebody bought a car from the showroom, wanted the Hurst shifter, we had it. So it was a fast track into production.
Yeah, it was great talking with Don. Super intelligent guy who really knew a lot about the heyday of drag racing, and really enjoyed looking at his photos and talking with him. Really good guy. So let's meet the original owners of that 1969 Olds Hurst, John and Sharon Kushner.
This is such an iconic car. Mm-hmm. So Sharon, John, tell us a little bit about your 69 Hurst Olds.
Well, I bought the car new in July 26 of 69.
Wow. So one owner then.
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
Of course, my dad had to help me out with it because I was still a youngster. But we bought the car, and I was a senior in college.
Okay.
And when I graduated, I ended up meeting Sharon. We went out on a blind date. She thought I had a lot of money when I pulled up for the car. But
this is an eye catcher. I mean,
that was a lie. No money.
It's all facade.
It's all in the car.
But it was our daily driver from July '69 until 1978.
Wow.
Yeah.
I lived in Mechanicsburg. I have pictures of it in the snow.
No kidding.
All that stuff. And then we started having kids.
76. Yeah.
And we were going to sell it. And I had a guy in Harrisburg was going. I hadn't signed the paperwork, but we were going to sell it for $2,000 to this guy. My dad's, who was a car guy, said, "You really ought to hang on to that car." Mm-hmm. So I said, "Where am I going to put it?" Because we had a one car in our house garage. He said, "Bring it up to Johnstown area where he lived."
Yeah.
He had an extra garage, so we put it away in storage in '78, and he would exercise it.
Okay.
And in '95, I was starting to get the itch, so he knew I wanted it back. So he said, "Get it out of my garage." So we brought it back. We're from Chambersburg.
Okay.
So we brought it back to Chambersburg, and I just dinked around with it. We had other priorities. We got the boys through college.
Okay.
Redid the house. Happy wife, happy life.
That's right. Yep.
So in 2008, we ended up having a frame off done on it down in Greencastle, Pennsylvania.
I was going to ask you who did the work.
Yeah. And Tracy Bard did the job.
Okay.
And
It's immaculate.
we showed it here in 2011 at the GM Nationals and got Best of Show. We've taken it quite a few places, like to Florida. I bought a trailer for it. It's a trailer queen.
That's okay.
And we've won a lot of recognition.
What's the sake on the odometer right now? What's the current mileage?
123,000.
123. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and I forgot another key thing. When my parents passed away in '97, I was cleaning out their house. And my mom kept everything. I was a spoiled only child. She had finger paints and all this. So I'm throwing all this stuff out. I found a shoebox. Opened the shoebox. She had, this is the salesman's workup sheet.
Oh, look at that.
And I traded in a 65 MGB on it. He gave me $1,300, and the down payment was $308.
Look at that.
Here's the canceled check for the down payment from July 26th.
That's
for the
great.
$308. And then like the trade-in sheets here. So all this paperwork was in that box. So I mean, you talked about the provenance.
I was just going to say that
Yeah.
increases the value so much.
It does, yeah.
So
And the fact the single owner, you know
Right.
everything about the vehicle.
Right. Yes. It's been part of the family since.
Our first
It's your third son, right?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
right.
Or maybe it's your only daughter. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's an absolutely gorgeous car.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That 69 Olds was absolutely perfect. There wasn't just nothing wrong on that vehicle. And to now, the lovely Miss Vaughn from Hollywood and the West Coast. Let's talk with my new friend and maybe crush. Here's Linda Vaughn.
Hello, Cubers. This is Darren, and I am at the Hurst Olds tent, and Linda Vaughn has been hanging out with me. Linda, great to meet you.
Thank you. This is the Hurst tent, period.
So, you were telling me about you had a good weekend.
I had a good weekend seeing all the Hurst employees. And, they're all like my family, my brothers, my sisters. Having Kype here to help us. She used to drive my cars for me to the events. Having Brenda here, Kevin, and most of all, Tom and Desiree for doing my mother's car like I was talking about. And everybody that loves their cars. I look out and I'm so proud. It's like looking at my children out here. And it's been an honor.
Well, you've built an amazing business and empire, and just the following.
It's worked my butt off all these years. Yeah.
What can you tell local or a fellow business person as far as how to hustle?
Have the faith, and believe in all the good things that the Lord provides for us. And I've always been a Christian, and I've always do unto others you had him to do unto you. And when George Hurst had his plant going, and we even had blind people working for us in our cafeteria. It's always full of love. They say if you love what you do, it's not worth it.
No.
And I love what I do.
I believe that.
But I have worked hard this weekend.
Well, you sure have. You talked a little bit about it earlier off air, but tell us about the restoration done on your mother's.
My mother's car, well, I'd like for you to interview Tom Kristoff when he gets through. And then Kevin's taking my car from here to back home with them and to her show. And then it's going down to Georgia to the Hall of Fame that we're doing in my hometown. So it's going to be really well reserved and well taken care of. So it's an honor to have someone that rebuilt my mother's car with love. And it was all done with love. You can look at it. That paint job on that car is 11 years old.
I wouldn't know it.
And you wouldn't know it. It's just beautiful. Just
really is.
Sensational. It's a lot of love sitting there.
For sure.
I got real sick and had to sell some of my cars. I had to sell a sister to that, the black Hurst Olds, and I had 2 of those. And thank God I had them because I didn't want to lose my house. But I worked very hard, and those cars paid off for me. And now I'm trying to buy some of them back. It's like, I lost my doll, Mommy. I got to go get another one.
Well, yeah.
It's just been passion.
But you've been taking, good Lord, takes good care of you.
Yeah. I'm very blessed to be here. Yeah, I've had 2 heart attacks, got 14 stents.
Oh, my.
Then I had half of my colon taken out. So that was probably the most dangerous thing I've ever gone through. It's what took my mother's life. So I help with pancreatic cancer. I help with injured drivers. I really try and help people who've helped our industry and the American spirit grow. It's all passion. This is passion.
And that's what
really
gets you up
is.
each day.
Absolutely. It does. I stretch and smile and give my doggy a kiss, and off we go. I asked him, I said, which car do you want to ride in today?
Nice.
He likes my Hurst Oldsmobile because the T-tops come out and he's got big long
What kind of
ears.
dog do you have?
I have a Cocker Spaniel named Curly Joe Cocker.
That's cute.
I had bought him from my boyfriend, and Greg passed away. And when Greg passed away, I brought Curly Joe to my house because I've never had an animal, a dog, because I travel so much, and I felt it wouldn't be kind to the animal. But he understands. I made him a deal. I said, you're going to live here on the beach and eat 3 times a day. I'm going to have to leave you sometimes. So I put him at Camp Bow Wow. And it's a family of people that take care of him. And he's my boy. It's so wonderful to come home. He doesn't care if I have on any makeup or my hair's in a ponytail. Or he doesn't care just so long Mama comes home. So it's really wonderful. I never had any children, so I feel like I got a 4.5-year-old little boy.
You do.
I'm telling you,
he has extra set of legs. That's all.
He is the most interesting animal. My sister's dogs, I never got to know him like knowing Curly Joe Cocker. He's a rocker. He likes music, he likes cars, and he loves to eat.
Sounds like I should meet him. Sounds like a good
maybe
guy.
someday you will.
He's a good guy. Well, you have fans all over the world. We have listeners all over the world. What would you like to say? Because you are Miss California. You're just all American.
I'm from Georgia.
Well, I know you're a Georgia native.
I live in California.
I know.
But
you've been California girl for a long time.
I'm an all-American maid, let me tell you. I've traveled all over the world with Mario Andretti for the Formula One races. I got to go to great countries. And when I was in Sweden, particularly in Sweden, they waved little American flags to me when I went down in the parade. And King Gustav, of course, has a Mustang with a Hurst shifter in it. So I hung out with the king. And in Monaco, I hung out over at Prince Rainier's. And just getting to travel the world. I loved France when I did the South of France races, and we won the World's Championship. And Mario and I just did a benefit 2 weeks ago in Indianapolis for the injured drivers. So it's a great family affair. I think we're all very tight-knit. It's a very dangerous sport that I live in, and I've lost friends, and I've gained so many friends. So it's a passion of love and understanding, because you can have breakfast in the morning and you might be going to a funeral home at night. So I'd say the passion's what drives me. It keeps me on the top of my toes all the time. And I understand when we do lose a driver, especially if it's tested. If he's tested to make that car safer and he died happily helping others, then I can understand why the good Lord does work in mysterious ways. But when he saves the lives of the street cars or the race cars or his family from losing his life, then he did it because of his love for this industry and sport. So I think it's going hand in hand to, I don't want to sound like I'm in a box preaching to y'all, but I love the real true intimacy of appreciation and respect that we all have for one another in this industry. And there's nothing like American made, because you guys all over the world love Hurst shifters. Because every time I go all over the world, I see a car with a Hurst shifter in it. Right. So it does my heart good.
It does. Thank you so much for spending some time.
Welcome.
It's so good to meet you.
And being here for the GM, because I do a lot of work with GM, but looking out over these cars, you guys, you folks and ladies, you should see what I'm looking at. It's just a dream come true.
Yes, it is. Linda, thank you.
Thank you.
Great. I loved every bit of doing this episode. It was an honor to meet everyone that you heard from today on the show, but also many, many people that we didn't even have a chance to get their content into this episode. Chevy Nationals was a lot of fun. Great job to Carlisle Events, and certainly had the best time over there.
And especially even just starting off with the Bandit Jump. That was just so impressive.
Yeah. The jump itself, about 150 feet. It was so neat to learn how they did it so he didn't have a major spinal injury, that he was suspended from these heavy-duty bungee cords about 5-6 inches above the racing seat, so that upon the nose-down impact, he would actually be suspended and not take that direct hit through the spine.
And check out our Instagram story and some of the pictures, because you will see the nose down impact.
Yeah, and I had some video of the whole launch. It was really cool.
Yeah, but it was great how they did a little reenactment. They had the music going. They had a cop chasing him.
Yep.
So it was cool.
Yep, it was a lot of really well done. This guy's superbly handled.
Quite entertaining. And actually, when we first came into the field about that time, I was like, oh, there aren't very many people here. And we go down over the hill. That's where everybody
was at the Bandit Jump. Yeah, it was a premier jump, and now they're talking, perhaps, there's an opportunity that they may come back with a Knight Rider tribute and do some form of a stunt jump.
Which would also be pretty cool.
Yeah. So we'll
Very
see.
cool.
Okay, the answer that you deserved to the question that I asked earlier about what were the two films, relatively well-known car movies, that Miss Linda Vaughn was featured in. The first one I mentioned was a 1976 film, and that was The Gumball Rally. And the 1983 film was Stroker Ace, which had Burt Reynolds and all about NASCAR. And that's a really good segue. Scott, speaking of rally, do we want to talk a little bit about Rally North America?
Yeah, we are in our kind of final couple of weeks here before we set out for it.
July 8th through 12th.
July 8th through 12th. We have the pre-rally on the 7th. We're really excited about it. If you have a chance, please go to our website, click on the link, donate any amount that you can. It all goes directly to Camp Sunshine. Great cause, great charity. And check us out along the way with our Instagram. When we get back, there's going to be posts or podcasts specifically with it. We're going to have coverage on MAV TV eventually.
And we'll have cabled coverage of that coming up here in a bit. But from the World Do Things, Scott's going to have Instagram stories going while we're in the car, while we're doing the scavenger hunts, while we're on the racetracks, while we're having some fun. We'll have our helmets and we'll be suited up, and we're gonna be hitting some high speeds in those tracks.
It'll be a good time, but it'll be so interesting to see how it goes, and to meet everybody up at Camp Sunshine.
I was going to say,
everybody along the way.
I think that may be one of our.
And with Rally North America, this is more than just the first time of supporting this charity. So it is well worth it, a cause that everybody feels so strongly for. Yeah. Yep. So please follow along. If you at least can't financially support with some of it, that would be great.
Well, we appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode, and can't wait to have you back for episode 61. We have some really cool content and interviews of local and regional folks coming up. Then we'll have Chrysler Nationals. We'll be talking to you from the road while we're on Rally North America, heading from Erie, Pennsylvania, all the way up to basically the tip of Maine. And we'll be putting about 1,400 miles on the Corvette. Can't wait to stay in touch with you from the road.
And Chrysler Nationals is the day we get back.
So it'll be that so we are going to be busy guys.
Dumped right back in.
Yep. We'll be moving and shaking. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you next week. So for now, guys, I'll say drive well.
Be well.
Take care.